Today's episode is brought to you by Mazars.
SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Of the number of businesses started in Australia in the last 20 years, nearly half are female-owned. Yet there remain a largely untapped audience with huge opportunities for brands and businesses to appeal to this demographic and tap into the purchasing power of women. Kate Christie is an entrepreneur herself, whose time management expertise is sought after by leading brands like Westpac, L'Oreal and even the European Union. She's author of 5 books, including her latest, The Life List, Master Every Moment and Live an Audacious Life. Kate explains the rise of the female entrepreneur and business owner to Chris Ashmore.
About 35% of Australian business owners are women. That represents a 46% increase over the last 2 decades. Really interestingly, 81% of those women are also mums. And I think that is really interesting because it tells a very interesting story as to why women are going into business.
Is there a reason why so many are starting a new business?
Yeah, look, it comes down to flexibility. Of the women starting a new business, 45% of them are aged between 40 and 54 years of age. So they have young children or growing families. Corporate Australia is not providing them with the level of flexibility that they need in order to maintain their career. They're highly educated, very intelligent, savvy, driven women. They're looking for an alternative and they want to keep working. They want to use their beautiful big brains. And so they're opting out of corporate and they're creating their own businesses so that they have the flexibility to work around their families, to support their partners, to support their kids, but also to really maintain their footprint in the workforce.
Is it also a matter of they're seeing their peers or their friends or whoever are doing it and they think, well, if they can do it, I can do it as well?
Oh, 100%. It's really interesting, Chris, because what the stats show us is that over half the women who are starting their own business are doing it because they're motivated or inspired by passion or by their hobby. Whereas men, the data shows us that men are more likely to start a business because they want financial independence. Women are starting their businesses because they're chasing after their passion or their hobby and they're monetizing it. They may have solved for a problem that they had themselves and they realise through discussions with their friends, men and women, that they've actually got something that is marketable, it's consumers want it, and they can monetize it. And I think that when you start to see your friends doing that and doing it well, then it gives you that boon. It's a confidence builder. It's, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And also knowing that you can do it with their support. I think that the business community itself is phenomenally supportive. I've got hundreds of small business friends, men and women, and honestly, they'd walk over hot coals for you. And I think that when you know you're going into starting up a business where you have that group of cheerleaders, it's very empowering.
Do they approach business differently to men?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. Women are less likely to start a business with a lot of capital. They will start with capital that they've raised for themselves. So they're less likely to approach a bank. They're less likely to go after angel investors. And you just have to Google it to see that there's lots of kind of angel investment funds that are sort of crying out for women founders to pitch to them. So, women are less likely to go out and try and source that sort of funding. They're more likely to start small. They're more likely to run micro businesses. They're not always looking for a massive scalable business. A lot of women are choosing to go into business because of the lifestyle. They want a lifestyle business. They want to create a great product or service that they love, but they're not looking necessarily to take over the world. Some are, which is brilliant. But I think women enter into going into business more as a lifestyle choice.
What advantages are there for a B2B having a women-owned business as a client?
Oh, look, these are huge. Women are now, particularly midlife women, are looking to kind of step into their power. And if you are a business and you have women clients in that kind of midlife range, then it's very, very powerful for you to understand exactly what makes her tick. She's the most educated, healthy, wealthy, active, curious woman in her 50s ever in history. She controls 95% of the household purchasing decisions. She's often purchasing for 3 generations, herself, her children, and her parents. She is a power consumer. She is the most dense demographic of income earners over $100,000 per annum. So she's got money to spend. She's very loyal, but she's also very, very happy to vote with her feet. So if you annoy her, if you don't understand her, if you don't directly market to her, or if you, worse, ignore her, then she's going to go off to a brand who actually understands her and engages her with humour. And, more power to her. She's really stepping into her space. So if you're a brand that has women business owners in that demographic, in that sort of 40 to 54 plus demographic, I would be urging your listeners, both the male and female business owners listening, to really understand this woman very, very well, because she's got money to spend, she's looking to spend it, and she is very underserviced at the moment.
Well, you kind of touched upon that. So then, what's the next step? How does a business owner market or attract the female consumer dollar?
Go and talk to her. Go and find out what it is that she's interested. Tap into her sense of humour. There's some brands that are doing this really well. Ford put out a fantastic car ad for International Women's Day where they've branded it as a men's only car. And it's, come and get our men's only car. And then it goes through all the features that the car doesn't have, because they're the features that their women designers came up with. So it doesn't have, rear view mirrors. It doesn't have windscreen wipers. It doesn't have all these things. We love that sort of humour. And, understand us. Go and, reach out to your female clients who are of this age. Ask us what we want. Ask us what makes us tick. You think, we're phenomenally fit and active at this age, and yet I can't think of one fitness brand that has 50-year-old women in their marketing campaigns. We don't have the same bodies as the 20-year-old. Half of us have got cesarean scars that we want comfy waistbands on our active workout pants. Go and find out what it is we want, how it is we want to be engaged with, and engage with us.
So would you say there's a gap in the market? Most businesses probably aren't focusing on the female consumer or the female business, and that there is an opportunity there for businesses to be able to fill that gap and focus on the female dollar.
I think that businesses are focusing on the female dollar but in the wrong demographic. I think that businesses are putting all their money into, millennials. I think less than 10% of business marketing budgets are spent on midlife women. And that is the gap. Flip that on its head. There are a lot of us out there. We are all in this process of redesigning our amazing lives. We've got more time now because if we had kids, they're empty nesting. We want to take on the world. So that's the gap. Flip it around a bit and start investing. Yes, you're currently investing in the women's market, but I think that where the gap is your midlife women.
That was time management expert Kate Christie. To purchase Kate's book, The Life List, you can do so at booktopia.com.au or via the link in the show notes of this episode. Business Essentials Daily is a SoundCartel podcast. Producers are Nick Schildberger, Chris Ashmore, Jeff Waters and myself. Technical production by Pete Letts. I'm Nicole Goodman. Thanks for listening. We'll bring you more Be Daily next week. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Mazars. To find out more, visit mazars.com.au. That's mazars.com.au.